this is a message to all of my young adults out there. What are you running from? When you go on YouTube and watch videos for hours, when you binge watch shows on Netflix, when you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, what emotions are you running from? And if technology didn't exist, where would you be right now? Would you have moved somewhere else? Would you have moved out by now? Because let's say you don't like the region that you live in, or you just don't like, you're having issues in general, but your technology is being used to distract you. So you become okay with where you are at, even though it's not in full alignment with your highest self. Like, let's say you want to move to the city and find some better opportunities, but because you're on your computer and phone all day, you have this illusion that you're connected to the whole world, when really you're like in the middle of nowhere. And like, there's actually like, you would have a much more fulfilling life if you were uncomfortable for a period of time. You would have a much more fulfilling life if you sat in those uncomfortable emotions without the influence of technology, because then you would realize, what am I doing here? And you would go to where you would be in alignment. So my question to you is, what are you running from? What emotions are you running from? And how can you become your highest self? Because, dang, like, you might just say it's a habit to scroll on your phone or to go on Netflix. I could say that about myself. I'm like, well, right now I live in Arizona, and there's not much to do besides hang out with friends and work. But there's just not much to do around here. And that's my excuse for going on my phone, for example. And I didn't realize that it's just a coping mechanism for that boredom, for that misalignment, where if I was in a state with more nature, or just more going on, or more of a social culture, I wouldn't even be scrolling on my phone, and I wouldn't have to use that coping mechanism. It's like, coping mechanisms actually are a hindrance to reaching the actual solution for the issue. Like, if you use a coping mechanism like drugs, smoking, it's just a distraction to actually finding the problem and the solution to it. I mean, how can you find the solution to the problem if you're in denial that there's even like a problem or something off? I mean, your first impression of something is usually kind of spot on, but we get kind of numbed to it. We get desensitized to our first impression over time, because what happens multiple times becomes normalized. What you see happening a lot becomes normalized, whether it's not normal. I mean, whether it's normal or not. If you grew up in a family that's stealing, and that's all you know, like, then that's normal to you in that context. So my question is, what do you believe is normal? And think to yourself, I mean, normal as in like a healthy way of life, right? Like, what do you believe is a normal part of lifestyle, a healthy way of life? And is that actually true? When you look at ancient civilization or other societies, is that actually a normal way of life? Because I could look at this and say, I'm in the US, I'm in Arizona, and things are a little more spaced out here. So like, people keep more to themselves. I have great friends here. Lucky that I met such awesome people. But in general, it's like, what is normal? Is that normal for people to be so socially isolated? Is it normal for everything to be so spaced out, for people to just focus on money and finding the most profit possible. Like, that's what I've seen out here. So but for some reason, it's still not normal to me. It feels wrong. But sometimes I forget that there's an option of finding people with different values and in alignment with a different lifestyle. So sometimes you know that something's not normal, but you don't know that there's an option to explore past it. So all in all, stop scrolling on your phone and your computer, at least for a period of time, and maybe ask yourself some questions like, what am I running from? If I was in alignment, would I still have the urge to be on my phone and computer? If I was living like the best, most fulfilling life, would I be on my phone? And if the answer is no, I wouldn't be on my phone, then the question is, okay, what are the steps that I need to take to build a fulfilling life? Obviously, meditation and self-awareness are key, but like, you can't just expect a species to thrive when they are disconnected from their source and their true nature. You can't expect for a person to be at their highest potential if they are disconnected from nature, which is literally like, we are organisms, we are animals, and we're disconnected from nature. You can't expect someone to thrive when they're not, like, when they're indoors all day, for example. You can't expect someone to thrive when they're not eating like fresh food with good nutrients, like the basics in life. And when they are in a culture that is just not a culture that is detrimental and only benefits the few rich people at the top. So just because it's normal to you don't mean it's normal. And what does normal even mean? That could be a whole other philosophical conversation. But your emotions hold something greater beyond expectations, disappointment. It might feel like maybe, I don't know where you're at in your life, maybe at times you feel disappointed with our society. But at some point, we must learn to accept those feelings of disappointment and transmute it into love, and to realize that the disappointment is only there as a signal for our growth and for the growth of this planet. Like, when someone is disappointed in you, it's because they expected better of you. They know that you can do better. Just like we know that humanity can do better than this. And if you're disappointed in yourself even for not going as far as you want, like, it's okay to be disappointed in yourself for a period of time. Or wherever you're at, because, oh my goodness, being in your 20s in this day and age is crazy. Like, you have an overload of media and everything with the phones and computers. And at the same time, like, the economy, everyone keeps saying the economy is horrible, but like, it depends where you live. Just move somewhere else. Maybe, I don't know, if you're able to. The economy's iffy. Electronics are taking over our minds and souls, and you can't find a freaking piece of food without food dyes and canola oil and random stuff in it. And like, it's just a weird territory that we're in as the next generation. And maybe it's paralyzing for some people, but like, dude, if you're aware of it, if you're aware that you're paralyzed, you can get out of it. And not literally. I just mean like metaphorically. But like, there's something else I need to say here. You're capable of doing anything. And don't let the scrolling stop you. And going back to the disappointment thing, yes, it's okay to be disappointed in yourself, but also realize your phone is actually like psychological, like, it's designed to like mess with you psychologically. Like, you're aware of it now and you can like take the steps that you need to take, but like, Don't be too hard on yourself, because like there I don't like the victim mentality, but everyone who grew up with a phone and is addicted to their phones now is kind of a victim to it. And it's time to be empowered and take control of this. Use your phone. Don't have your phone use you. Use your phone as a tool when you need it to gain what you want. But let's not have it use you for data mining and all of that stuff. And let's turn that disappointment into inspiration and empowerment. If you're still in your 20s and you're watching this, you've got a lot of time. And it's literally never too late to follow your dreams or make some new decision. The world is your oyster, as I always say it. And at the same time, I don't even know. I hope this resonates with you guys. Peace out.